I've been measuring decks the same way for 3 decades with a tape, a pencil, and experience. This Stabila laser measure claims it can do it faster and more accurately. I'm skeptical, but I'm about to give it its first real-world test. Let's see how accurate this thing really is. So what we have here is an LD 530 BT. It's a premium laser distance measurer from Stabila. And they sent me this and told me, hey doctor, check this out, let's try it out, show you a couple features of it, so on and so forth. I haven't actually talked to headquarters about it yet, but we were excited about it. We played with it already. The one thing that I thought was really amazing about this particular tool is once you boot it up, it has a camera in the top of the tool, okay? And also hooks up to Bluetooth. So it just told me, because I had pre-Bluetooth this device to my phone, but you can see the laser dot right there. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this thing all the way on the floor and I'm gonna catch a measurement and we're just gonna see how accurate it is. And then we're gonna try a long distance as well. But what's kind of cool is there's some features that we can zoom in. So if we are at a longer distance, we can catch where the dot is on the house. And I'll show you the difference in like when you're trying to catch measurements, regardless if it's for accuracy or if it's for general purposes, like let's just say I'm on an estimate or a bid and I need to know the dimensions of the house or something like that. So let's just see how it goes if I put this down on the deck and I can see where the laser dot is on the ceiling, and it's gonna add the distance of this case to the floor. So this measurement's gonna be from the floor to the ceiling. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the button. It's 9 foot and 15/16. So it's almost 9 foot 1 inch. So let's see what we got. And my tape says about 9 foot 1 inch. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Let's measure this door jamb right here. So I'm gonna put it on the side like this. I'm gonna hit this button, get us back to the camera, and it's showing me exactly where the dot is. Okay, I'm gonna hit this green button. It's gonna say 2 foot 11 and 1/16. 35 and a 16th. So 2 foot 11 and 1/16. So that's exactly the same. I mean, it's right there. All right, let's say, okay, I'm gonna measure from the floor up to right here, 82 inches. I'm pretty close to 82 inches. It might be a little shy of 82. I got a little bit of flex in my tape, but for all intents and purposes, I would say 82 inches. Let's put this on here and hit the button once. Okay, I can see in the camera where I'm aiming. I'm gonna hit the green button. 6 foot 10 and a 16th. 6 foot 10 is 82 inches plus a 16th. We're within a 16th. Now that extra 16th may be because I'm on the outside of the door jamb and I'm angling in, but that's pretty close. I'm gonna try it again. 6 foot 10. So that's 82 inches, okay? I think this thing is so precise, you just have to make sure you have it exactly where you want it when you dial in your laser dot to wherever you're putting it. So far, so good. Now, I wanna do a long run. I wanna go from this wall all the way to that wall. And let's see what the laser says, and then let's see what the tape says. Okay, and over at the wall, okay, I can see the laser dot. If you look down there, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and measure. Since I have to hold it up a little tiny bit, I'm gonna do a couple tests. So I shot it 3 times. The first time I got 53 foot 2 and 11/16. The second time I got 53 foot 2 and 3/4. And the third time I got 53 foot 2 and 11/16. So my first test and my last test were the exact same measurement with a 1/16 inch longer on the second measurement. But remember, the siding is beveled like this. So depending on where I put the laser dot on the wall would determine if I'm a little higher, that's where that extra 1/16 is coming from. That's as accurate as I can be with this device unless I dial it in and put a mark on the wall and have somebody down there going, okay, you're on the mark, go ahead and do it from there. So what I'm gonna do is take my tape, we're gonna measure and see where we're at as far as length. But we're looking for 53 foot 2 and 3/4-ish, somewhere in there. So we're gonna pull this tape measure out to 25 feet. This is gonna be tough, but I'm gonna put my square right on 25 feet. I'm trying to be as accurate as I can. Probably not gonna be as accurate as this laser device is. Now, if I used a rolling tape measure or maybe a 100-footer, it'd probably be a little more accurate. But what'd we say? 53 feet, 2 and 11. Okay, what I came up with is 53 feet. So I measured 50, here's 3 feet, here's 2 inches and 3/4. I have 53 feet, 2 3/4, which is definitely within our tolerance of the 2 measurements that we got out of the 3 times that we used the laser. In my opinion, this is very accurate. Now this has so many features in it, guys, but for what I'm gonna use this for, it's definitely going to fit the bill. It might be a little too much for me with all the additional stuff that it does. And as I learn more, maybe we'll do an update on this laser distance measurer in the future. But I can tell you this, it's very accurate. We've done some testing here. Now let's go over to some framing and see if we can find a way to use this in a functional way that we could, like for blocking. And I think that's what we would use this for, is like for cutting pressure blocking. So let's go take some measurements over there. In a real world application, we would need to measure in between these areas for, so let's say we want to put some blocking in between these joists. So that's something that we do all the time. And sometimes when we're measuring those, they can be a challenge depending if we're measuring to the top or the bottom of the joist. Now with aluminum framing, you got to make sure you're on point with the distance. So what I want to do is I want to measure what this distance is between these 2 joists. It says 11 1/4 inches. It's 11 1/4 inches. So it's perfect. Let's measure this distance as well. I could see doing this, like, let's say I want to do 4 measurements all at the same time, and I want to keep them recorded where I don't have to write them down. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so what I have here is 11 1/4, 11 3/16, 11 1/4, and 11 3/8 is what the measurements came in at. So I'm 11 1/4, 11 3/16, 11 1/4, and 11 3/8. So those are all perfectly lined up. The cool thing is I have a list right here that I can go up and down and check. I kind of like that. All right, so we are actually cutting some post heights right now to figure out how tall we need to be for a post for this landing. And we've grabbed a measurement and we're gonna go ahead and double check it with our laser distance measurer. For this particular measurement, we wanna go to the top of the frame. So we're putting this Stabila level across here so I have something to shoot against. And I can see where I need to go. And it says 4'10" and 15/16. So almost 4'11". 4'10" and 15/16 is the proper measurement. I mean, that's if you want to be perfect. I would cut it a 1/16 shy though, just so that we have clearance. So 58 7/8 would be perfect. Yeah, this thing works pretty good. So I find this to be a pretty handy tool. I think that this is really useful for people that are interior, that have a lot of inside corners and things like that, that you're trying to get, like for trim guys, sheetrockers, that kind of thing, where you might need some measurements and you're gonna still do some finish work after the fact, but also it's accurate enough to where sometimes when you're doing inside wall measurements, it's tough to do it with a tape measure, or like you saw me trying to do over 25 feet with a standard tape measure. It's not super accurate. It's time consuming compared to using one of these. Now, with that said, this particular model is expensive. It's $650 or so online. We found a couple different places that have it for that price. So I don't know if it's something that I'm gonna put in my tool bag and use daily, but it is a nice tool to have when you need it for those specific measurements. Sometimes when you have to do ladder work or soffit work, I could see people using it for that as well. You need to check heights and figure out variances and things like that in elevation. This is a very handy tool for that, and interior door casings and things like that as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. Also, don't forget to check out our new podcast. Links in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.